All right, Stallions, this is the Exploration and Colonization Unit 1 test review. Now, I'm going to be going over these answers, so if you have any questions, hopefully this is going to have some clarifications. If you just want to check your answers, please do so, or if you're stuck on an answer, please continue to listen, or you can fast forward to the section that you need. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question is, what is the difference between political, social, and economic motivation for immigration? So you have those three, which are PES, political, economic, and social. So whenever we're talking about political, this has to deal with their government. This has to deal with their power. Land equals wealth equals power. So political, you're just trying to grow your empire. Next one, economics. The very first thing you should think about is money. Economics is more than money. It's like what to produce, how to produce it, and who gets it, your different goods and services, your different labor as well. But automatically, the number one word that should come to your mind is economics is money. So how do they make their money? Social. Social relates to society. So whenever we're talking about society, we're talking about their religion, their culture traits, their food, anything that has to deal with a specific group of people. We're talking about their social values. So we had three main people that tried to colonize the New World: French, Spain, England. So the French, again, F. So French starts with F, so French fur. Automatically think French is fur. So since they wanted to join the fur trade and they wanted to make money off of the fur trade, it's economic reasons. Next one is Spain. They wanted to go ahead and spread their religion, which was Catholicism. Since it's religion, that is their society, so that is social reasons. And at first, England wanted to just gain land. So, well, all of them did, but especially England, because they were the last ones to try to colonize the New World. So England was political reasons because they wanted more land. Next one. For what primary purpose was Jamestown founded and what year? Very first date you need to memorize. Jamestown, 1607. It's the very first permanent colony in the New World or in the colonies by England. So it was founded for economic reasons. So the Virginia Assembly allowed them to come, the English people, the colonists, to come to the New World. They landed in Jamestown, Virginia, 1607. Economic reasons, they were on the look for gold or to make money. Number two, what eventually saved Jamestown, made them successful? You don't necessarily need to know on who brought the key ingredient, but what made them successful? Well, they did not find gold. They hit some hard times, some strong winters. So the growing of a cash crop, which specifically was tobacco. Tobacco is what saved the colony of Jamestown. So economic reasons, they were able to grow that cash crop for a large profit. So that is what made it successful. Number three, what is the term of Britain's hands-off policy towards the colonies? So automatically, you think of hands-off, think of the king, he's stepping away, he's saying hands-off. That is solitary neglect. He's neglecting the colonies, he's neglecting the colonists because of distance. He's all the way across the Atlantic. He doesn't really want to waste his time and energy, so solitary neglect is that term. It's known as the hands-off policy. He allowed them to create their own rules and their own legislative assemblies. So that is the hands-off, solitary neglect. Next question. Describe mercantilism accurately in your own words. Is it fair? So in your own words, you first need to know what it is. Mercantilism is an economic policy between the colonists and the motherland, which is England, where the colonists were forced to sell their raw materials, their raw good, back to the homeland, the mother country, which is England. England would then make some finished goods and sell it back to the colonist at a higher prices, manufacture goods at an extremely high price. So the reason why it doesn't seem fair is because not only were they forced to only buy from England, but it also restricted their trade. So they could not trade with any other country, which included Spain and France. So the colonists deemed that unfair because the only people that they can trade with was the mother country, which is England. Number five, how and why did representative government begin to grow in the colonies? You need to list at least two reasons. So the colonists were sending cheap materials to England, and England, the colonists were forced to buy it, finished goods. So, that's number four, I'm sorry. So one, the king was way too far away, solitary neglect all the way across the Atlantic. So that is the reason why representative government began to grow, because they really were able to do that because they didn't have any pressure from the king. And 2, they needed protection. They needed their own people to represent themselves, to make some laws and rules that they can all abide by. So number 6, give at least one example of a new government that was formed in the new colonies. So these are our example types. The very first one was the Virginia Assembly allowed the Virginia people in Jamestown to create their own government type in 1619, which was the Virginia House of Burgesses. As soon as you hear that word burgesses, the definition is representative. So why is it significant? Because it's the first representative government in the colonies. 2, Mayflower Compact, 1620, Plymouth, Massachusetts. Before they even step off the foot, and when I say they, I mean the Puritans and the Separatists, before they step off the ship, the Mayflower, they decide that they need to come up with some kind of form of a government, some kind of agreement. A compact is like a contract that would help them rule themselves. So that was the very first self-government. If I'm moving on, future, you have Thomas Hooker, who made the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, which is the very first example of a constitution in the New World or in America. So that's another form of government. And then, of course, last one, town hall assemblies. Now you're having these colonists, these English colonists that are in the New World in new colonies, and now they need to start to govern themselves because they're the ones that are here. So they're going to start meeting at town halls and starting to come up with solutions and just how to run their own society. So I gave you 4 for number 6, which I believe is actually number 7 on yours. Next one, Mayflower Compact. Where was it signed? Why there? What did it establish? So I kind of went over that one in the first one. Mayflower Compact, so compact means contract. The Puritans and the Separatists specifically were on the Mayflower. It was signed in 1620 before they even stepped foot off of Plymouth, Massachusetts. Now remember that they wanted to be there and they wanted to sign that before they even started to colonize because they didn't really know where they were at first. They were heading for Jamestown, but they missed that mark, so they were in a new territory, so they needed some kind of form of agreement and government, so they knew what was ahead of them and they at least had each other. Now, again, what did it establish? It established the very first self-government in the colonies. Number 8, Fundamental Orders of Connecticut. What is it? Why did they need it? So again, Thomas Hooker created in the colony of Connecticut the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut. It is the very first example of a constitution in America. Now, why was it needed? Well, like any constitution, it protects the rights of the people. It separated church and state. Again, we have a constitution today, so it protects the rights of the citizens. Number 9, who created the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut? It was Thomas Hooker from Connecticut. 10, describe how geography, and when I talk about geography, land, ocean, weather, soil, directly affects their economy. Economy, how the region made their money. So those two correlate together. Those two are dependent on each other. Your economy, how you make your money in your region, is dependent on what is around you, your geography that you have. So if I'm looking at the southern region, we're in the south, long summers, very fertile soil. You have an abundance, it's humid, so water. So that geography helped them have the economy of the plantation system. So they were able to grow cash crops, tobacco, indigo, rice, cotton, and the main labor behind that force, well, they were slaves, African slaves that were found or got by the triangular trade, specifically the Middle Passage, and they worked at plantations, and they were able to establish their economy based off of the labor from slaves. B, middle colonies. Middle, automatically think it's in the middle, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, so it's moderate. Moderate climate, moderate growing seasons. It's perfect for still growing food crops, not necessarily cash crops. Yes, they had that, but they specifically were called the breadbasket for a reason. They were able to provide the colonies with their food. So middle colony, geography, moderate. They had food crops. So that's how they made their money. C, New England. It's not like the South. It's not like the Middle where their growing seasons are fairly good. They have rocky soil. They have long, harsh winters. They're not able to maintain crops. So they need to make their money a different way. So their geography is natural harbors. Their geography is cold, but yet they can fish. They have an abundant amount of forests, so they're able to have that lumber. So their economy is based off of fishing, lumber, natural ports, because their geography is cold, arid, harsh winters, long winters, rocky soil. Now, remember, geography is directly linked to economy. Wherever you live, the region that you are at determines how you're able to make your money. Last one, important people. So for every single category, significance and contributions. And then last one, what region are they from? Plantation owners, plantations are in the South. They're specifically for cash crops. So plantation owners are significant because they are the ones driving force behind the economic system of the southern regions. Their contribution, they were able to make the colonies a lot of money because of cash crops. Again, they're part of the South, southern region. Roger Williams and Anne Hutchinson kind of are together. Williams left Massachusetts while Anne Hutchinson was kicked out. Their significance, they both helped found Rhode Island, the new Rhode Island colony. Now they believed in, again, separating church and state. What region are they still part of? Well, they left Massachusetts, but Rhode Island is still in the New England region, so they're still up north. Thomas Hooker, again, left Massachusetts. He wanted to start his new colony. So the new colony that he created was Connecticut. We're still in the New England region. Why is he significant? Because he created or helped establish the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, which was the first form of a constitution in America. And the last one, Mr. William Penn. William Penn, it's in his name, Penn. He created the colony of Pennsylvania. He is the leader of the Quakers. He is significant because he was fleeing religious persecution. So the colony of Pennsylvania was established for social reasons for the Quakers, who were pacifists, meaning that they're peaceful people. They didn't believe in war. So pacifists, think of P. P is peaceful, peace. And what region are they a part of? They're part of Pennsylvania, which is in the region, the middle colonies. All right, that was a quick video. You should already have your study guide done, but if you don't, here you go. Just listen, fast forward, or rewind. We're ready at the end, so rewind if needed. Just go back to whatever section that you need. Come prepared tomorrow. Good luck, guys. Have a great day. Bye.